So transfer deadline day comes and goes, and West Ham have got a loan signing through the door in Igor Julio. But who is Igor Julio, I hear you ask? Well, we'll get into that. But before we do, guys, please don't forget to drop a like on the stream and check below to see if you are subscribed to the channel. If not, could you please click your mouse and get subscribed to the channel? We would really appreciate it. We are, last I looked, 17 subscribers away from hitting 1,500 subscribers, which is a tremendous milestone for the channel, and we'd really appreciate your help in getting us there. Around about 60% of the people that have watched our content in the last 28 days are not subscribed, so we want to try and get that number down, and we want to try and get the subscriber numbers up. So if you could help us out with that, really would appreciate it. Just to assure you, there is no money that comes out of your bank account. It's free of charge, and we don't retain any of your data sensitive information. Thanks for your support. So, Igor Julio. Now, I know there's a lot of people that will probably be turning their nose up at this player, but we'll get into that. There's some good things to be said about this signing, I believe. Obviously, we'll wait and see how it unfolds, but I just ask people to bear in mind that once upon a time we got a centre back in, and initially it was on loan, and he didn't exactly sort of get the juices flowing, if you will, of the West Ham faithful in the main, but he came good when he got his opportunity. He came into the first team, and you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Craig Dawson. Now, if this guy can go on and do a similar thing, then this could be a really, really good signing. Beefs us up at centre back. He's got Premier League experience as well. He's come to us from Brighton and Hove Albion, for whom he's made 50 appearances for. 37 of them have come in the Premier League. Prior to his time at Brighton, some of you may be aware of this, but he used to play for Fiorentina, and it was actually, if you go back and watch that goal of Jared Bowen, but it's actually Igor Julio who is in close proximity as him as Bowen pulls the trigger for the winning goal. So he's got a little bit of history with us. We've got a little bit of history with him as well. So we've crossed paths. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of information about him, about Igor Julio. Now, he was born in Brazil in a place called Bom Sucesso, which translates from Portuguese into English as good success. He played for Atlético Mineiro and Portuguesa Santista as a schoolboy, and he then joined the Sao Paulo-based Red Bull Brazil at the age of 18. He's a UEFA Youth League winner. He also spent 2 seasons in the Austrian Bundesliga for Red Bulls Salzburg. I'm guessing that possibly the fact that he played for Red Bull Brazil probably gave him a little bit of a easier path into European football by that way. He also has spent time in Austria Vienna on loan again, and he reached 2 cup finals with Fiorentina, one of which being obviously the Europa League, the final where obviously we prevailed against Fiorentina. He also is has appeared in Europe for Brighton and Hove Albion as well in the Europa League. 6 appearances in the 2023-2024 season. He helped Brighton and Hove Albion to get victories against Ajax, AEK Athens, Marseille, and Roma. And as I say, he's played 37 matches in the Premier League. So he's played at a high level. He's obviously got a bit of a pedigree about him. And yeah, 27 years of age. He's 6'1". He can also fill in at left fullback as well. So he's got a bit of versatility about him. Now, you know, like I say, it's not an earth-shattering signing. It's not a signing that will get people really sort of, you know, licking their lips and all the rest of it. But look, let's have it right. We needed to get a little bit of reinforcements in at centre back. This guy does it, and also gives us a little bit of a cover at left back if we should so need it. This is a player that, like I say, cast your mind back to Craig Dawson. Nobody, when we signed him, very few people anyway, were really in love with the signing. He sat on the bench for a little while, and you started to think after a period of time that the signing was a complete waste of a loan signing. What was the point? I remember the conversations, as I'm sure you do. A lot of people were saying, why have we signed this? We've used a loan signing for someone who's not kicked a ball for us. He then got an opportunity, if I remember correctly, it was away at Southampton. If I remember correctly, it was around about Christmas time from memory. He never looked back. And yeah, as I say, we've needed to beef him. I mean, look, truthfully, I think we'd have liked to have signed a more glamorous name, someone with a little bit more of a sort of weight behind their name. But look, at the end of the day, let's welcome him into the West Ham family. We're a family club. We like to be welcoming. And look, if he comes in and he hits the ground running, then as far as I'm concerned, this is a good signing. Remains to be seen how Graham Potter will utilise him. As I say, will he put him straight in against Tottenham? Will he sort of ease him in gently? Obviously, bear in mind, we've just kept a clean sheet away at Nottingham Forest. So he's probably not going to go straight in, I would suspect. And so he might have to, again, same as Craig Dawson, bide his time, wait for his opportunity. But as I say, he's got big game experience. He's played in European football. He's played in Premier League football. At 27 years of age, he's there or thereabouts in his peak years. So he's going to come in. He's got to do a job. The only thing that I don't know, and I haven't been able to find this information out, as I say, this is a season-long loan. And the one thing that I'm not too sure about is whether there is any option or obligation to buy. I'm not entirely sure on that. I dare say that will come out in the fullness of time. But even if there isn't an obligation or option to buy, let's just say he comes in, he does well. From what I understand, he's Brighton and Hove Albion's fourth, maybe fifth choice centre back. So if he comes in here, if he has a good season, if he looks strong, if he stands up to the challenge, and we have a good season from here on in, and he's part of that, he may well look at it and think that actually he doesn't want to go back to Brighton and Hove Albion, where he's got another 3 or 4 centre backs ahead of him in the pecking order. If he can come in and he can establish himself, then he may well want to come and be part of the journey of Graham Potter or whoever's in charge of West Ham. I mean, look, Premier League football, it's a fickle beast. You're never quite sure what's round the corner. Graham Potter got a great result yesterday away at Nottingham Forest, but it only takes a couple of games for things to change. Hopefully that won't be the case. Fingers crossed, Graham Potter's turned a corner, as have West Ham United. But Igor Julio in as a loan signing from Brighton and Hove Albion. As I say, not sure if there's any option or obligation to buy. I've not seen it mentioned in any of the publications that I found online. But what do you think? What do you think about Igor Julio? As I say, not a glamour signing. We probably could have done with another player or two coming through the door, but we've got Magassa in the other day. We got Fernandez in the other day. Fernandez made his debut away at Nottingham Forest. He looks really good. Magassa obviously is going to be coming into the squad, fingers crossed, for the game against Tottenham Hotspur at the other side of the international break. And now we've got Igor Julio in to complement the rest of the signings that we've made in the summer, the likes of your Kyle Walker-Peters, the likes of your Mads Hermansen, etc., etc. Those players that we brought in. Like I say, I know we could have done more, but we are where we are, and we just got to get on with it now. So, we need to come together. We need to welcome Igor Julio into the West Ham family, and hopefully he can show the very best of what he's got to offer. But get your comments in the section below. Igor Julio, what are your thoughts? Have you seen him play? What do you think his attributes are? What do you think he can bring to the West Ham party? How can he help us move up the table? Get your comments in the section below. Also, guys, please don't forget to drop a like on the stream and remember to hit the subscribe button. We're 17 subscribers away from hitting the magical 1,500 mark. Really would appreciate if you could help us get there. Over 60% of the people that have watched, our content in the last 28 days are not subscribed to the channel. We want to try and move that number down to move our subscriber numbers up. Really would appreciate your help. And rest assured, we do not have any of your contact details. We don't have your bank details. This doesn't cost you a copper coin. You literally just click your mouse. So if you can just have a little look below, if it says that you're not subscribed, click subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon and click all. And that way, whenever there's content that's added to the channel, you'll be notified straight away. Please and thank you very much indeed for your support. And I'm going to disappear. And all I've got to say to you now is, come on, you Irons.